Hello, my name is Caroline Makisa from the Maths Insider website, and today I'm going to answer a question which is from a Maths Insider reader, and they asked, how can I get my child to learn the basic facts? So I'm going to first of all talk about how much effort is going to be needed to learn the basic facts, and then I'm going to talk about the order in which to do the facts. Third, I'm going to talk about location, give you some good tips on where and when to do that kind of learning. And then finally, I'm going to give you a secret tip at the end. So first of all, how much effort is it going to take? Well, when I was a Kumon instructor, when I ran a Kumon centre in London, my students were doing a lot of basic fact learning. So on a typical Kumon worksheet, say for example for addition and subtraction, each student would be doing about 200 to 300 questions every day on that particular fact, whether it's plus ones or plus twos or a mixture of plus ones and twos. So that's why Kumon kids are generally really, really fast at their basic arithmetic. Now, I don't do that with my own kids now, and as a TABTOR instructor, each TABTOR worksheet has about 30 questions for the arithmetic section, which is fine, and some kids do 2 or 3 in a row, so I guess they're doing 90. But to be frank, even if you can get 10 questions done, or 5 questions done, or a few questions done several times a week, that's brilliant. That's better than doing nothing. Okay, so don't have in your head that this is going to be a huge, humongous task. You know, obviously, if you want your kid to be really, really fast, you're going to need to put in some Kumon effort, Kumon style effort. If you want them to be quite fast, some TABTOR style effort, and if you just want them to get the basic facts, then, you know, just do, 10 questions several times a week. Next thing I'm going to go over is what order should you answer the questions? Should you ask the questions? So I've got my whiteboard over here. So I've kind of got the 4 times tables. That's what my son was doing last week. So I've been doing them I wrote them out. I did them in order first, and then order again, and then the next row I kind of skipped some, did the odd numbers and then the even numbers. So generally try to do them in order. I would start off with something that's really easy. So if you know they're struggling with their 4 times tables, start off with the 2 times tables. Give them that confidence by starting at an easier starting point. So if you've noticed, for example, for their addition, that they're finding 8 plus 5 difficult. Now, 8 plus 5 is the question I always ask my new TABTOR students. What's 8 plus 5? And if they can give me that quickly, then I know their arithmetic is generally okay. That's just one of those facts that takes me a fraction of a second longer to get. So that's why I've picked 8 plus 5. So if they're struggling with 8 plus 5, then give them an easier starting point. You can start with even the plus 1s and plus 2s and plus 3s. And just give them that confidence to go fast. If they can do 9 plus 3 quite quickly, then the leap from 9 plus 3 to 8 plus 5 isn't that huge. But give them a running start, give them some easy work to get started with. The other thing I want to talk about is, where should you do them? Well, of course, you know, you're probably thinking I'm going to sit in front of them and I'm going to ask them lots of questions, or I'm going to make them do lots of times tables worksheets. That's fine. If your child is happy with doing that, that's great. My son last week was going through a stage where he really didn't want to do worksheets. He didn't even want to write the answers. So I wrote the questions and then I wrote the answers when he shouted them out to me. And I've got some spellings over here. You can see my other son's spellings, repair, stairs. So he decided to write those on the board. But when we practice spellings, actually we usually practice them in the bathroom. And then he writes with the board pen on the shower stall. So you can use that tip, or you can even use like a window. So because some kids just like writing somewhere different. Another great tip is to do them in the car. So this tip came from one of my TABTOR parents. So what she does is her child's in the car and she gets her child to do the TABTOR while she's driving, because that way she can hear whether the child is getting questions right or wrong. There's like an audio sound of the TABTOR app. And if her daughter gets stuck, she can give her some advice. She can say, hey, watch the video, or read the question again, but she's not actually sitting over her and saying, we'll do this, this and this, because she can't, she's driving. So I think in the car is a great time, because as well you're avoiding that kind of eye-to-eye contact, because you'll probably notice that when you ask your kids a question, they'll often look away while they think of the answer. And also that it's kind of confrontational if you're staring at them, hey, what's 8 times 9? So try that, try it in the car so that there's less pressure, if they get the questions wrong. And finally, for my last tip is allow them to make mistakes. It's not a big deal. Don't react. You don't know what 8 times 9 is. Just tell them 8 times 9. If they get it wrong, it's 72. What's 8 times 9? They say 72. What's 8 times 9? It's 72. So just ask them a few times before moving on. And then have in mind that that's one of those times tables that you're going to have to go and review. So if we go back to the beginning, do as many as you can. Lots will get through the process faster, and your child will be faster at the basic facts. But even if you're doing 10 facts several times a week, that's fine. They're going to get there. Go in order, start with something that's slightly too easy, that's fine. Do them in the car, on the whiteboard, on the window, on the shower stall. Just find somewhere really good to do them. So we're different. Actually, my son also, he likes playing board games. So we adapted a board game and made it a times tables board game. We just printed something out. And finally, allow them to make mistakes. So for more quick tips and practical advice to help your kids to math success, go to the Maths Insider website, www.mathsinsider.com.